Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Life as I See It. This is episode number 7. First of all, the weather sucks. We're in the middle of a rainstorm right now, threatening thunderstorm. It's not here, it's off in the distance, but I can hear it sort of. And a minute ago, it was really raining. It looks like it's clearing up again right now. Anyway, on to my show. First of all, this is Father's Day, and I want to wish everyone, every father out there, a very happy day. Being a father is not easy, and especially in today's world. And my ex-husband, Victor, is a father, of course, and he's doing a really great job of being a father these days. I'm very pleased that Robert and him are getting along now. For a while there, they really weren't, unfortunately, but they are now, and it couldn't make me any happier. So, and that. My dad. Um, there's a historic picture there. I would like to say that my dad and I got along all the time. I'd like to say that, but I can't. Um, we had a very, very rocky relationship all my life. When I was a little kid, we were great. I remember many times being very close to him. However, as I got older, things weren't so good. I think Dad was. I like to say that Dad was somewhat disappointed in a sense about his life, not completely, but a little bit. And my mom and I were always the one who took the brunt of it. But I would have days, nights after nights, all the time of having these horrible, horrible dreams about my father. We'd be arguing in these things, and I would wake up crying. It was so bad. He died, I have to guess, about 1990, April 1990. And I was just starting to really get together with Victor at that point as friends. And when he died, about soon before he died, my dad and I had one horrible, horrible fight. One of the worst we've had in a while. Had in a while. And I remember the last thing I said to my dad before I left was basically to go to hell. Did he deserve it at the time? I think he did. Did I mean it? Of course not. But I was angry. Very, very angry. And I left. And he was in a nursing home. And I did not go back to that nursing home for the next 6 weeks. I thought about it a few times, but I don't know, I just couldn't bring myself to go in there. I was that upset. I know we'd get over it eventually, but unfortunately, I never got the chance. Now, at one point, my dad had asked my mom if I was going to ever come back to the nursing home, and she said she wasn't sure, and he said that it wouldn't. He would deserve if he wouldn't blame me if I didn't. Well, unfortunately, 6 weeks after our argument, where I told him to go to hell, he died, and he'd had a massive stroke at the base of his brain or something like that. So he never really came to. So we had gone to the hospital and we had decided as family to just keep him comfortable because we had no idea how long he was going to be that way, whether he would even come out of it. So we just said, okay, fine. And I remember going to the hospital one day, one of the days, a couple of days, the next day with my mom and my brother Richard, and we were in the room with him because he was never alone when he took his last breath. I was there when he actually died, and that was rough. But I'm glad I was there for him. I really, really am. And afterwards, um, I had a dream with my dad. But this one was different. We were actually getting along and we were talking. And didn't last long. And I woke up and I was fine. So I thought, okay, that's odd. The next night, I had another dream of my dad, this time even more pleasant. And that. And the third dream I had of him was a day or two later. And we were sitting on the couch and we were talking. And we stood up. He gave me a big hug. And we walked into the kitchen holding hands. And had made up. And I never had another dream of my dad again. That was it. But I felt in my heart, my dad and I had made up for all those horrible times. And I said to my mom, I could remember my dad for all the bad times, or I could just think of the good times, because there were a lot of good times. It wasn't always bad. And I did that, and I'm glad, and I'm grateful. And I know he looks down at me now and smiles. Why is it you always get the bad parts of your parents, though? Because I never could figure out why my dad would be awake half the night and asleep half the day. I never could figure this out. Well, I know now why it was like that. Because I do the same thing sometimes. Some nights I go to bed, I'll be so tired, and I'll go to bed, and suddenly I wake up. Oh, joy. So I'm up half the night. Or I'll be asleep for a little while and wake up, and then I'll be awake for a while. And then, of course, I sleep, have a nice nap in the afternoon to make up the difference. And it doesn't seem to make any difference whether I have a nap or no nap. These things will still happen, and it drives me crazy. The other thing I got from my dad and his family was something called restless leg syndrome. If you've never had it, you're lucky, because it's a pain in the butt. Actually, it's a pain in the legs. What happens is when it starts going, you suddenly feel like you've got bugs crawling up and down your legs, and you can't stop them. And the only way you can stop them is by basically smashing your feet on the floor or hitting them really hard. But usually the smashing on the feet does it. So you're not saying, you're hitting the floor all the time. And it'll stop for a few minutes and back up again. So you can do that for quite. I call it the doing the Irish jig, or the jig, because that's what it looks like. And if you're and now as you get older, it gets worse. So now I have it in my legs and in my arms, and sometimes my whole body will feel like it. It's just crazy. And for the longest time, we didn't even know what it was, because we didn't know a name. It was just being discovered, really. So we used to call it the Loisel twitch, because everybody in the Loisel family seemed to have it. Thankfully, my son doesn't have it, although there are times I wish he did, so he would understand what I go through. But like I said, as you get older, it seems to be getting worse, and that's not good. When my husband and I were together, I don't know how many times I would kick him in my sleep, because I didn't know. My mom could handle the legs, but when my dad started flopping like a chicken, that's when she would leave the bed. It's just crazy. And like I say, a good portion of my family seems to have it. Joy. There was another time my dad too, which was fun, because like I said, I grew up playing cards a lot, and my dad and I would play cards every now and then. We'd play board games. Or I'd wake up in the middle of the night when I really couldn't sleep because of anxiety issues and that. And I wake up and I go out to the dining room, and my dad would be awake in his bedroom. So I go in there and I would sit on his bed with him, and we would talk. And he would tell me all kinds of interesting stories in the past and that sort of thing. And it helped a lot. And those were the good times. Those were really the good times that I really enjoyed. So, and at my wedding, he wasn't there, unfortunately. He had died. So I had my brothers take me down the aisle. And normally the brides do not give a toast. They normally don't, but I wanted to. for two reasons. I wanted to call my Victor's mother and father, because I hadn't at that point. I wanted to wait till this. So in my speech, I said to them that I would be very proud to call them mom and dad, and it made them cry. They were so honored. And I ended the speech mentioning my father and that he wasn't there, and I wish he was. And then I ended the speech with a toast to my dad. I had everybody in tears. It was great. And but those are those are the things I really, really treasure and remember. And on to topic number 2. As you know, I have been talking about oh Lord, I'm looking at the wrong call sheet. No wonder it's not adding up. Oh well. Oh wait, here it is. That made more sense. Okay, now on to topic number 2. I'm together here, and that is I like to draw floor plans. I've been doing it since '72. I don't know why I started. It was as kids, and I kept it up all these years. And I never wanted to do it as a job because there's so much more to it with the building codes and everything else. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to enjoy it as a hobby. But after all this time, I'm pretty good at it actually. I've been reading. I read a lot of books and look at a lot of floor models and learn how to draw like that. Plus, I've taken a couple of drafting courses in high school. So, because of that, I'm very aware of what's wrong in some apartments and some places. Like, I walk into a house and I would do this there and change that around. Like, okay. But I always have this one question. Now, I've been living in apartments and homes most of my life. We've always had lights in bedroom ceilings. We've always had lots of outlets, including the ones in the hall by the front door. But the last 10 years or so, I have run into situations where I have not had that. Why is there no light in the bedroom ceiling? There should be. I don't want to put a nightstand in there. I mean, it's ridiculous. Plus, it's in that one. When you have a light on top, it shines right down, so it does room better. So it drives me crazy. But the one that really drives me mad is outlets. Why? Dear God, why? Is there no outlets in the hallways and near the front door? Because you would think that would be good places for them. I mean, if you're vacuuming the floor, you got to make sure you can get to the outlets. And if you have you can't even put a nightlight in the hall anymore because there's no way to do it. And this is crazy. This is stupid. Who ever heard of this? And right now, I have a fan, and I need to plug it in such a way so that it can get the air from my air conditioner down the hall. But in order to do that, I need to plug it near the front door and hall. Good luck. No wall plugs. So I have to use it sort of in the kitchen. That doesn't really work out very well. Can't do it on the bedroom because they're too far down the hall and it wouldn't do any good. So it leaves you with this problem, and it drives me crazy. Like, I swear to God, if I was building a home, I'd have more outlets. Because you need them. And once again, being very thirsty, I'm going to have another sip of my drink. That's better. And so that takes me down to my last topic, my son. Now, if you had watched my son's show earlier for NSTV, you would have noticed that he had a segment on me, my crazy mom. And I saw it. Payback, so much fun. But in honesty, I love my son. He's 20. God, I think it was again 27. He's 27 this year. Yeah, he's 26. He born in 1993. And he's the light of my life. I've said that often. But he also has Asperger's. And dealing with Asperger's can be interesting because he doesn't see things the way other people see it. I knew something was up in grade 5 when he would come home from school and he couldn't figure out why the kids in his class were joking and goofing off and not really working and not doing what the teacher told him to do. And he thought it was wrong. Okay, you do your job. And I kept trying to tell him, well, at that age, a lot of kids will do that. It's pretty normal. It drives the teachers crazy, but it's pretty normal. He could never figure this out. And I knew something was up at that point because he never really acted like a normal child. He was always, he always seemed older than that. Yeah, old soul. But there's other little things that he would do. For one thing, he always had like one or two major topics that he would talk about all the time. And when he was in grade 11, I think, 11, we found out that he had Asperger's for it finally. And everything in his life made complete sense at that point because he had all the signs. We just didn't know it. And growing up, I discovered, and a few years ago, I discovered that I have Asperger's and his father has Asperger's. He found that out at the same time, basically. And again, looking back at my life, I can see where it was. But, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, they never really, you never heard of it. So you didn't know these things. They just were different. And that's probably why I got picked on a lot. But he does. And there are drawbacks to it, yes. But most of the time it's good. Because he does see things differently. And because he does understand. And it makes him a very unique child. And very smart. But it also has its downsides. Because when he gets into one of his weird moods, he thinks it's fun to pick on me, drive me crazy. And I know he mentioned it on his show that he likes driving me crazy, but he doesn't realize that sometimes he goes a little too far. And I know he doesn't mean it. This is where he is. But he does. And I can get pretty upset with him sometimes because of it. Because he just doesn't know enough. Once he gets into doing something, he just doesn't stop. I can tell him and plead with him and beg him and punish him to get him to stop it. But he won't. Because once he gets his mindset, that's it. You can ask the teacher for that. Because growing up in school, I'm like moving my foot here a bit so I can get a little more comfortable. Growing up in when he was in public school, he would be told to do a certain assignment, and he wouldn't do it. He didn't see any reason to do it, none. And the teacher would probably corral him to do it, and he just wouldn't. So they called me up and talked to me about it. Can I get my son to do it? Whatever. And I always had the same answer to them. Well, you've met my son. I'll try, but, once his mind is made up, it's almost impossible. And that time, we didn't know what was going on. Now we do, but back then we didn't. We just thought he was a pain butt, stubborn child. Well, he was, but that's kind of the point. So, but it has paid off in one sense because that's the stubbornness that's got him through his 4 years of Fancher College. Because, if they threw everything at him to get through, I don't know how he did it because I know I couldn't have. I would have cracked so quickly with all that crap. But he didn't. He kept it going. He went through a strike. He went through a pandemic. He went through scheduling problems, teachers' problems, you name it. He had everything. But he got through it all, and I'm so damn proud of him. So is his father. But that was my son. And he also said in his thing that we're very competitive when we play games. Oh, boy, are we ever. Like I said, I grew up playing card games and board games. And after my mom died, I didn't really have that for the longest time, but now I do with my son, and I'm so grateful for that. Because it was a part of my life that I really, really missed. But we get together and we play, and you think we kill each other. You think we hate each other sometimes. with stuff we say to each other. But we're all in the game. And usually he beats me all the time. I don't know what's going on right now because I'm winning like crazy and I'm loving it. But he obviously doesn't. He's telling me I cheat. I don't, but he keeps saying that. But it's been fun. To keep this up, I may win that Big Brother game after all. That we started at the beginning of the pandemic. So, but that's my son, and I'll tell you more stories later because I have some that are just fun. So, but anyhow, that's my show for the day. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm too much, and I'll be hoping to get outside soon. I think it's stopping raining now. I don't know. I'm hoping it stopped raining because I need to go to the store. Although I may wait till later when it's a little bit cooler. I don't know. But but that's how my show is this time, and I'm rambling on. So I will at that point say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like me and please share me if you want, and certainly subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to hear comments and ideas for topics and that. And in the meantime, once again, smile, stay safe, behave yourself out there. I know it's not easy. It's kind of boring sometimes, but do that. And I'll see you next week. Bye.